All right, welcome back to the channel. We have the R33 on the lift, ready to pull the RB28 finally out of this resting place because we need to rebuild it. If you don't remember, here's some footage from 2 years ago when we started diagnosing what happened to the engine, just literally driving it out of the warehouse. First things first, baby, let's see the damage. Okay, where are you? Oh, that spark plug hole looks terrible too. So we have some pieces of stuff in cylinder 1. There's that one. There, oh, look at that. That's not supposed to be looking at you. Yeah, you don't want that. Nobody likes that. Probably a valve. So my guess currently, damn it, sorry. Trying to get one more look at it. Where is it? Let's do this. It's fucking pencil camera. There we go. There you go. How do you put a quarter in a spark plug hole? So James was taking the spark plugs out so we could do a compression test, and yeah, come to find out cylinder 1, to get the spark plug out was kind of mushroomed, so it was having a hard time coming out. And that makes sense because it was getting beaten up by a piece of valve hitting the bottom of the spark plug, mushroomed the threads a little bit. So the cylinder head threads are also a little bit damaged. That's cylinder 1. So the other 5 cylinders look okay. There's no scarring or dropped valves in those areas, but realistically we're gonna need to take the whole motor out, pull the head off. If the cylinder walls are scored and damaged, then we're gonna have to go ahead and rip apart the entire bottom end.
Now me and the mad scientist gotta rip apart the block.
Re-hone it, rebore it, hopefully not have to sleeve it if it's still within spec. This is based on the numbers that are on the block, an N1 base block. We'll really be able to see the parts that are finally inside this motor that we were told at auction. All right, so let's talk about the carnage that's going on in this RB 2.8 liter engine. The cylinder head has ejected 2 of the exhaust valves. Now, we're not 100% sure as to how that came to happen and to completely grenade those 2 valves. It also did bend the 2 intake valves on that same cylinder 1, which mushroomed the tip of the spark plug. The remnants of those valves are sitting on top of the piston. We did confirm that this is a stroker engine. It's at about 77.7 millimeters of stroke. We're not 100% sure what rods, crank, and piston it is yet until we open up the bottom end of this motor. But before we do that, I need to figure out if this cylinder head is salvageable. Can somebody fix this combustion chamber? Obviously, we can get all new valves. There's OEM spec, there's a plus 0.5 millimeter spec valve and a plus 1 millimeter. New valve guides are gonna have to go in. Obviously gonna have to reshim the entire head, but the beauty of this cylinder head and why I wanna retain it is mainly due to the CNC porting that is done on the intake side. That is absolutely beautiful. I haven't seen that on any of the other cylinder heads that we've gone through in this shop, and I would really love to salvage this cylinder head and reuse it. Now this cylinder head is also fitted with the HKS V-cam. On the exhaust side, it has a 264 step 2 HKS cam, and on the inlet side, I'm not 100% sure because based on the markings, I couldn't figure out which camshaft profile we have for the V-cam. So that way we can figure out if we have the step 1 V-cam or the step 2. We're not 100% sure which V-cam we have. We might reach out to some other parties that are more in tune with the HKS VCAM setup to figure out what these markings are, and it could tell us what this camshaft is on the inlet side. The short block, this is an N1 block. Definitely gonna have to overbore because of the damage that is going on in piston number 1. Of course, replacing that piston or just getting a complete new set of pistons, as long as everything else on the bottom end is good and usable, which we are praying it is, because this is already getting rather expensive. So now it's just time to find the proper course of action. If this can be salvaged, what parts I need to order next. I already know I'm gonna have to get valve guides, but I'd like to get the cylinder head taken apart to figure out what valve springs are in it, because that will also further indicate which HKS VCAM step this has. I know that step 2 requires their uprated valve spring kit. That'll give me a better indication there. And then this engine setup is actually meant to live in one of our R34 GT-Ts. We have partnered with CAN-TCU to operate this whole setup behind a BMW S55 DCT transmission on a link ECU with a Garrett G35 1050 was the plan. We already had everything for that, but a couple of projects got sidetracked, things went in different directions, but that's where this engine is going to live. This new setup is meant to be 800 to 900 wheel, flex fuel, link ECU on a DCT transmission. Not to say that the R33 is fully dead, because it is not. We already have the plan for this car. Now, part of that plan is putting an R34 completely, essentially stock long block, 2.6 liter. On that RB26, we're gonna slap 1300cc injectors, link ECU so we could do flex fuel tuning, and along with that Getrag 6-speed transmission from an R34 GT-R. We already have the drive shafts, we have the front shaft, the rear shaft, everything ready for the 6-speed to go into this R33. So it's just figuring out what other parts we need before we just throw the motor in and be like, okay, cool, let's figure this out. No, we want to put the motor in complete with the HKS single T04Z turbo back on the 2.6 liter that was in the car originally. Update to the radium fuel system with the 1300cc injectors, and really clean up the engine bay, because this thing had a ton of extra sensors and controllers. So it had the HKS EVC, the VCAM controller. It has like 7 freaking gauges everywhere, all because the FCON doesn't display to the cluster like modern ECUs do. We could do this with like a WindLab CAN data gauge, where it'll show you gear positioning. It'll show you everything that the ECU is seeing on the standard triple gauge pod that goes where the radio bezel is. No more gauges all over, no more extra wiring and sensors running through the firewall to the motor, because this motor was like double and tripled up on sensors everywhere. So it'll be a lot cleaner going back into the car with the 2.6, 6-speed transmission, link ECU, brand new engine harness already complete and done. So get rid of all the piggyback and the jumper harness and all the excess wiring that we no longer need. It's really gonna clean up this R33 a lot, so this will live on again and be back to its former glory.